Your favorite crab meat pizza is here, Mom. Eat as much as you want. My daughter-in-law sets the plate in front of me, acting unusually kind. I'm not stupid enough to not question this sudden change. I suspect my eldest child and his wife are trying to set me up using food. I think they are really mean people who would go so far as to try to trick me. It's clear that something is off with this fancy pizza. After all, they've been hostile and have pulled various stunts on me before. Their sudden niceness is actually suspicious. It would be foolish not to think they're up to something. I don't want to be looked down upon. I can protect myself too, and turn the tables on them if needed. My name is Mary, a housewife in my 60s. I live alone since my husband passed away. Years ago when he died, my eldest child and their wife offered for me to move in with them. They were newlyweds then, and I wanted them to enjoy that special time, so I declined. Still, they said they were worried and moved into a house near mine. They are still newly married and want to enjoy their time together. I was truly grateful for their thoughtfulness. They visited often, even when I told them they didn't have to. I also told them it's okay if you don't come that often. I decided to indulge my eldest child when they said, "I'm worried about you, Mom." My daughter-in-law, too, would come over when my eldest was busy, saying, "I want to get along with you." I was proud of my child for finding such a good wife. But at that time, I was clueless. I didn't know why they were being so kind to me or what they were really thinking. Looking back, I get annoyed at my own naivety. Kindness without strings attached isn't something you get easily. I was swayed by their sweet words. However, I eventually found out their true intentions. One day, they visited and ended up staying the night since they had no plans for the next day. I didn't want to intrude on their time as a couple, so I suggested they could go home since it was close by. But my daughter-in-law insisted. We want to deepen our relationship, so we'd like to stay. So I let them. I offered them the guest room. My late husband built this house, and it's too big for just me, with many unused rooms. The room was a bit dusty, but my daughter-in-law helped clean it up. She's good at housework and has been helpful since they got married, so I had a good impression of her. In the middle of the night, I woke up thirsty and went to the kitchen. On the way, I noticed the living room light was on. Curious, I peeked in and saw them sitting on the sofa talking. I couldn't help but eavesdrop. Then, I heard a conversation between the eldest child and his wife. I'm exhausted. That old lady works us too hard, don't you think? Just hang in there a bit longer. Once Mom gives us the inheritance, we're done. If her husband wasn't a company CEO, we wouldn't have to do all this. It's funny how easily she's fooled just because we're nice to her. Mom's always been emotionally vulnerable. She'll probably give us the inheritance. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. If this was true, their kindness was a lie, aimed at taking my late husband's inheritance. Was all their previous kindness fake? Everything you said to me, we're family, so we want to support each other. And all the words you've said to me so far? Why were they so obsessed with the inheritance? I didn't see him having any trouble with money, but maybe he's in a lot of trouble and I'm just not aware of it. Why would you go to such lengths for your heritage? Do they just want money? I was curious as to why the couple acted like this, so I decided to ask them about their current behavior. After asking around the neighborhood and among friends, a shocking truth came to light. They were both deep into gambling and had amassed a huge debt. It was an amount they couldn't possibly repay with regular jobs. I understood why they'd be desperate for the inheritance. My late husband had left a considerable amount to our eldest child. Even if it was less than what I received, it was a significant sum. They had squandered it all and turned it into debt. Their kindness was all for the sake of getting the inheritance from me. I became cautious around them from then on. Do you need any help, Mom? We want to be there for you. I'm fine, thank you. I've gotten used to living alone. Please prioritize your own lives. My daughter-in-law responded with empty words. I'm glad to hear that. But her face had turned stern. She's probably annoyed because I'm not dancing to her tune. Who do they think they're fooling? I don't need kindness that expects something in return. One day, after keeping my distance from my eldest child and their spouse, I got a call from my daughter-in-law. We need to talk. When I arrived at their home, I was led into the living room and asked to sit on the sofa. Then daughter-in-law spoke with a serious tone. Do you have a new love interest, Mom? I was taken aback. I had no idea how she came to that conclusion. Seizing the moment, daughter-in-law began to speculate. You've been distant lately. It made me suspicious. But you're colder than I thought, Mom. You forget about Dad, who worked so hard for you, and you just want to be happy yourself. There's no one else. You're mistaken. Even when I denied it, daughter-in-law wasn't listening. She had no evidence, but she probably thought that if I had a new love interest, it would be a problem for them. After all, that person might get their hands on my money. Mom, you should really reconsider dating at your age. Have you thought about your position? Why would you say something so cruel? I don't mean to be cruel, I'm just worried about you, Mom. What if this person is deceiving you? You'd be the one getting hurt, and I can't stand that. I saw right through her. She was just trying to protect her inheritance. But daughter-in-law, wanting to play the caring daughter-in-law, never showed her true colors. That's fine for now. The true nature of the eldest child couple must be seen at the right time. I'll see their true selves when the time is right. And that time came sooner than expected. Happy birthday, Mom. This is just a small thing. My eldest child handed me a bag from a fancy pizza place. Inside were various pizzas, including my favorite, loaded with crab meat. Thank you. Let me just plate these up. No, you're the star today, Mom. Sit down. I'll do it. Saying that, daughter-in-law took the bag and disappeared into the kitchen. My eldest child followed her to help. They might be pretending to celebrate my birthday, but I knew something was up. What could it be? As I pondered, they returned with plates. In front of me was a plate loaded with crab meat pizza. Here's your favorite crab meat pizza, Mom. Eat up. My eldest child nodded in agreement. To anyone else, it would look like a happy birthday celebration. But I knew better. There must be something on this plate. I'm not that naive. It was despised. It would be strange not to question their overly kind behavior. With my husband gone, I have to protect myself. I'll never trust them. They'll regret making a fool out of me. Regret it deeply. Well, it does look delicious, but my taste has changed recently. I prefer the foie gras on your plate. Saying that, I reached for my eldest child's plate. I had always said I didn't like foie gras, so their plate had more of it. Wait, Mom! My eldest child tried to stop me. I tilted my head and feigned confusion. Is it a problem? You used to love crab meat too, right? Well, my taste changed too. I've started to like foie gras. Is that so? Then let's not be biased and share both. At my words, my eldest child's face turned pale in an instant. The crab meat pizza, which I had always said I loved, was only on my plate. Clearly, they had planned to set me up by tampering with my favorite pizza. My eldest child's reluctance to eat it was proof enough. But it looked so delicious. Why don't you try a piece? Saying that, I grabbed a slice of the crab meat pizza and brought it to my eldest child's mouth. With no way out, they took a bite as if bracing for impact. Daughter-in-law looked at my eldest child with concern. That's how pale their face had turned. Oh, you look a bit green. Maybe it didn't taste good? Mom, considering how my husband is feeling, maybe the pizza isn't good. I'm sorry, but let's call it a day, and I'll prepare something new. Daughter-in-law sounded panicked. She must have thought it was impossible to continue the meal. But your son doesn't look well. Stay the night. It's not safe for you to go home. No, we'll leave. Don't be shy. You've been so good to me. Daughter-in-law tried to make excuses, saying, but, and, well. It was clear she wanted to leave. I've always thought that for a couple trying to deceive people, they're terrible liars. They panic when something unexpected happens. As I watched my eldest child, something strange began to happen after a few minutes. With a loud thud, they collapsed. I approached and found them snoring. It was clear they had been drugged with a sleeping pill. Oh, fell asleep, did you? Must have been tired. As I tilted my head, daughter-in-law shouted, "Oh, enough! Why won't things go as planned? We talked about how important today was. Wake up now." Saying that, daughter-in-law slapped my eldest child's cheek. Still, they showed no signs of waking. I was stunned, witnessing the moment their true selves were revealed. Ignoring me, daughter-in-law began to spill the beans. I've been playing the good daughter-in-law, thinking if I buttered you up, I'd get the inheritance and clear our debts. Today was supposed to be the last day. We were going to put you to sleep and steal your banking card. It's all your fault nothing worked. What are you going to do about it? Daughter-in-law glared at me. So they plan to drug me and steal my banking card. Using someone's birthday for such a scheme is truly despicable. I'm not as terrible as they are, so I decided to come clean. Actually, I knew all along you were being nice to me for the money. That's why I kept my distance and didn't eat the pizza you offered. I'm not as foolish as you two. At my words, daughter-in-law looked shocked. Apparently, she genuinely believed I was in the dark about their plans. How underestimated I feel. What kind of fool did they take me for? Sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm not as dense as you two. I've always found your sudden kindness suspicious. I even overheard you talking about the inheritance when I stayed over. You two are really foolish, discussing your plans in your target's home. Don't call us fools. We've been trying our best. Is your best effort the reason you're in so much debt? If so, you two are really pitiful. You know about the debt too? How much do you know? Clearly, she hadn't expected me to know about the debt. The word debt made daughter-in-law visibly anxious. I did some digging, found out you two are drowning in debt because of your gambling habits. I was shocked when I found out. You've managed to accumulate quite a debt. At my words, daughter-in-law's face turned increasingly pale. She must have realized there was no way out. Mom, I'm really sorry. Please forgive us. We can't make it without money. Please lend us some. We'll pay you back. Saying this, daughter-in-law deeply apologized on the spot. Her demeanor had lost its previous confidence, clearly showing she was at her limit. Even in this situation, she was still asking for money. I was shocked to realize that, to her, I was just a convenient source of financial support. Sorry, but I won't give you a single cent. I have no money to give to people like you. Don't say that. There's the inheritance from your late husband, right? You have money. Please help us. No, I can't trust people like you to pay me back. Take responsibility for your own actions. Daughter-in-law looked downcast at my words, but she seemed to understand my resolve, and didn't ask for money again. After that, my interactions with my eldest son and daughter-in-law dwindled. They stopped coming to my house and barely even contacted me. When those days arrived, contrary to my expectations, I didn't feel lonely. Rather, I felt refreshed, freed from people trying to deceive me. Later, my eldest child and daughter-in-law moved away. According to neighbors, they were taken away by some rather shady-looking people. Probably they couldn't pay off their debt and were taken to a distant state. They might be in a terrifying situation there. They might be suffering so much they want to run away. But that's none of my business anymore. We're unrelated now. I reported the end of this turbulent chapter to my late husband's photo. It seems like his expression in the photo was one of relief. My only family is my late husband. The only person who truly stood by me and supported me was him. Life is short, but I want to live it strongly, cherishing the memories I made with my husband.